Today is the 7th of May 2018. Daily quote: Alive trumps. Alive trumps professional and perfect. So how was my day yesterday? And you may already notice I'm now doing my day videos outside because the weather is super fine, and it is now 9:55, and I'm already way into my day and I'm having a great time, and I hope you do too. So without further ado, how was my day yesterday? I continued to experience the disconnect with Corinna, and I find it very interesting. And so far, that I'll move a bit more into the sun. I find it interesting, and so far that from what I got yesterday from the clan and tribe meeting, apparently for her this is some kind of competition, a silence competition or something like that. And I find that interesting because for me, I have a very different take on that. I'm rather enjoying the me time right now, and not seeing it as a sort of competition. Well, I just hearing the way she talks about these things is a bit alien to me, which is fun because that's exactly a story that she told that I really appreciated. A story about Martian and Venus people trying to talk to each other, and there being a challenge of them having to like win together and cooperating in some sort of way. So that's something that I found funny. Then, so what did I did, as I just mentioned, I had the clan and the tribe meeting, and I'm really happy to have these things going. And also yesterday I committed to building my alpha tribe, meaning that in the future I will have good company in the tribe meetings. And I also want to start drawing the legend depictions of the story of Co-Legend, and I'm looking forward to that. My tablet will arrive in the next 2 days. Then what else do I want to share about yesterday? I spent another long session in Akona Park, and I wrote Akona Park Linner. Oh yeah, so Linner is my self-defined word, which just like there's brunch, which is a mixture of breakfast and lunch, I'm now talking about Linner when I mean the mixture between lunch and dinner, because I tend to have 2 meals a day, one being breakfast or brunch, and the second being dinner. And I combined that with a long sun bath, and also now I'm taking my drawing utensils with me so that whenever my creative moments strike, then I won't hesitate to draw something. Then I spent time yesterday continuing the inventory sale, or declutter rather is how I want to call it. And when it comes to my decluttering process, I was dealing yesterday with my memories backup. So I took pictures of many of the memories that I kept storing in physical world, and then now I'm ditching them, letting them free, and this entails uh, like personal diaries, journal diaries, where I had entries, and I even I read through them yesterday, and I really cherish these decluttering moments now. And while reading through my diary, I also contacted people that were part of my stories in my diaries, telling them how much I appreciate what happened and why. And I guess that is also partially creating weird moments, but I want to see how that goes anyways, because I value my expression of it more than the reactions that I get or might get. Something in particular that I found interesting about my journals is I even like I did things, maybe that's like something that's normal to you, but for me it's something that I find a bit weird, but it's still interesting. When I was really emotional and I had tears and the tears fell onto the journal, I scribbled, I like um, framed my tears in the journal and wrote something to go along with these tears, which I find somehow special. And also something else that I noticed, but I'm getting a little off track with these stories here. Something else that I noticed to the last one is that how I wrote back then is amazing. I already had these super spirity moments and decided that thinking about what life is really all about and stuff like that. So there's a lot of deep content and radical honesty and stuff like that going on in my journals, and I really love my thoughts when I read them now. And I didn't know that I like my past self so much, but now reading through these diaries, I really am fascinated by my past me. So moving on about the day yesterday, I did visual thinking for the Coalition website. What are the contents that I actually want to share? Because the current website for me is really out of sync. Then I reviewed my hero and I noticed some vision resistance, meaning that I, when it comes to continuing my personal vision, um, reviewing is fine, but without giving myself this next step of reviewing, I would have just been tempted to not do anything at all. So I want to explore what is actually going on when it comes to this resistance. Um, I feel that it's really just very a simple thing where I'm giving myself the proper format, since I don't have a person doing it for me, just like I do it with the people that I guide. So I can just pretend that I'm one of I want to pretend that I'm one of the people doing my legend questing, and then really also facilitate myself, which is weird. And at the same time, I think it's possible until I have someone else who is willing to facilitate through the process or the structures that I find sensible. So what do I want to focus on for today? There's two things that I want to focus on. One is to continue the decluttering of my inventory, which I'm quite happy with, and now in the final few rounds, moving on into the sun. And the second thing is I want to start handing in my taxes. So I read about the differences and things to keep in mind when using the Elster online form here in Germany. That's what I will be using, because my case is really super simple, and that's what I will be using, and I want to take a look into it of how to actually do it, and if I get to it, then also already prepare everything so I'm a click away from just handing it in. That's it from my side. I wish you a legendary day. I went a little overboard now, 8 minutes. I hope that's fine with you. I wish you a legendary day anyway. And if you have any feedback, as always, I'd love to hear it. And that's it from my side.